Good evening, everybody, and welcome to G4G on YouTube. It is time for Thursday Night Fights. That is when I go through 5 PvAI fights in Marvel Avengers Alliance Redux, either Beta 5.9 or Beta 6.04. Today we're going to be in Beta 5.9 for a team that I was playing around with during the week on one of my streams. For a spec ops that I was going through, I had to do 5 PvAI fights, and I sort of just kind of blended up a team together, and it turned out to be really good and really a lot of fun. So that's what we're going to go with today. But before we get into the matches, the Redux story development team has put out feelers that they are putting together a Q&A coming up. Rainbow Panda is looking for community involvement on this. So as you guys know, the development team, or the story development team, for several weeks now, or the greater part of about a month and a half, has been asking for community input on the polls that they've been doing. These polls have led to winners in a simulator course contest. So basically it was for each of the classes from Blaster on down to Generalist who should get a simulator course when the Season 3 content releases. Well, Rainbow Panda has another community involvement for you guys, and that is a question and answer period. Basically what you guys are to do who are coming here and watching this video is to put questions down in the comments of the video about Season 3 content. If you want a little bit of background information on it, go to AvengersAllianceRedux.fandom.com. I will put this link in the description, and you can see that there is information about old Season 1 and 2 and upcoming Season 3, and the heroes that have been announced, the alternate uniforms that have been announced, the villains, and the enemy tribe. So what we mean by that is these are named villains like Killmonger and Rhino, and these are enemy groups like certain demons and rock trolls for Asgardian related things, and there's a Pym particle glove. Spec ops have been announced, and PvAI has been announced, which awards Photon when we get up to Season 33. Fantastic art there that looks literally like it was done by Playdom, so I think that is amazing. So, your job is to ask questions down in the comments below, and then the team will put those together and answer them in a future Q&A session. Now, a couple caveats from me before we get into the fights. Certain questions like, will we get Silver Surfer? Will we get Namor? Will Thanos be a playable character? Things like that. The team's really not going to answer that because that's spoiler territory. Plus, the very popular heroes have been done to death. In that sense of, people have asked Playdom, will we ever get Namor? Are we ever going to get Silver Surfer and stuff like that? So those are real ancient questions. They're really looking for stuff like plot, or will we see dual class heroes in the future? Here's one that I will ask the team. Will we ever get a uniform for somebody that makes them dual class? So example, if let's say there's Luke Cage, who was originally a scrapper, and then he got his worthy costumes, which are a bruiser and a scrapper. Would we ever see somebody get a dual class uniform in the future, which is, highly unique? Most people start as a dual class, like Hogan or Fandral or Volstagg or Cloak and Dagger. So my question to the team would be, would we ever see a dual class uniform? Another question that I've got for the team is, will we ever see heroes who get a uniform that maintain the 2 E-ISO slots the way that we did with Hyperion? If you remember, mostly when Playdom did characters, the default character had 2 E-ISO slots. The uniform generally made them a bit more powerful, so the trade-off, or the caveat, was that they would drop down to 1 E-ISO slot for the uniform. Hyperion sort of broke the mold and had 2 in his alternate uniforms. So that's a question that I have for the team in Season 3. Would we have people who get 2 EISO slots in their uniforms? And then people have asked a lot of questions on Facebook, like what'll happen when we get to level, will we get anything above level 300 and stuff like that. You could certainly ask them down below. I believe they've already been asked, but there's no harm in repeating those, especially if you haven't come over to the Discord or Facebook and seen those questions already asked. So feel free to ask them down below, but don't ask about ETAs on Beta 6. Don't ask if there's going to be mobile versions. This is not a programming Q&A. This is sort of a plot and story Q&A. So this isn't, you're not asking questions of the coding team, you're asking questions of the story development team. Speaking of those coding questions, again, caveats for everybody listening, or sort of warnings. There is no ETA on when Beta 6 will be public as of yet. Beta 5.2 is linked down below. That is the most recent version that is available to the public. You're going to see differences on what is on my screen compared to yours. That is because I'm in 5.9 today. You have access to 5.2. There are differences. In terms of another coding question, it is unknown how many betas will be between 6 and the final version. There has been some thought that after beta 6, the next version will be the final version, which means it has Season 1, Season 2, which we're all played on, and the new content of Season 3, somewhat likely. So, yeah, don't ask any future questions, because the answer will be it's ready when it's ready, and of course, there are no plans for a mobile version as of yet. So let's go ahead and get into 5 practice fights today. We're going to go with some of the defenders in Iron Fist and Luke Cage. It is mostly a melee-based team. My agent is using the neurotrope, the custom goblin glider, which is farmable, the butcher's blade, which often shows up in the daily spinner, and the Sonic Fist, which is midway through the Spec Ops or so. They were a hysterically fun team when we were doing PvP during the week. We have a blaster, we have a bruiser, and we have a infiltrator. If the agent is not tanking, which he doesn't seem to be, then Iron Fist is going to have some fun going after Invisible Woman, which is one of the newest characters in Marvel Rivals, in case you aren't playing it. She's a very fun healer in there, capable of doing actually quite a good amount of damage too. Alright, so we're going to neurotrope, and then we're going to do some funny stuff over here. My agent has no weakness over there since there are no scrappers. I want to leave Invisible Woman alive a little bit for my 2 scrappers to get their bonuses off of her, so I think I will go with Human Torch. We don't want the Cosmic Control Rod rocking. Okay, there's Force Field. Let's have Luke Cage tank, because Iron Fist and my agent have been hit. Get the oh my god, Luke Cage keeps doing this. He did this during the week. Luke Cage's damage has been astronomically high, and I will show you my bonuses after the video completes. I have a bit of a choice here. The agent is a bruiser, and Human Torch essentially is wearing an anti-melee cloak on him because of his flaming body. So the best thing to do would be to attempt for Iron Fist to heal. Unfortunately, the quick action was not a quick action, it was a full action, so we'll have to wait. The bruiser goes after one of my scrappers. They are extremely healthy over there, and I am not. And actually, we're in a bit of trouble over here. He's a flyer, and we don't want to melee, so let's use the Goblin Glider. I honestly thought the Sonic Fist does a ranged attack because it appears to be that way, I messed up. It is a melee attack. However, having seismic feedback on my team is really handy. Oh, that's rough. How did Fourth Field take all of that damage? We're in trouble. We're going to lose. Because that's going to do Plasma Body. That's going to do Plasma Body. Yeah, we're in a lot of trouble on this one. We are probably going to start off with a loss. However, can we get the heal off? Okay, Iron Fist gets the heal and promptly dies thanks to the bruiser. Goblin Glider again. Oh my god. What is the properties of that glider? Oh, it's gonna be Plasma Body. My agent's killing himself. We take an AoE, which is handy because it's gonna be weaker. Interesting counter. Yeah, okay, so... Oh, explosion. Okay, so that's why the Goblin Glider caused Human Torch to heal, because it is explosive. He has no dots, so I cannot really expect him to die by himself. I'm going to have to Sonic Fist him. And he avoided it. This is terrible news. I'm in a lot of trouble. He's lit himself on fire, he's healed himself, and we take a loss as the first one. Wow. Crazy, considering the massive damage my team is capable of. In this instance, I actually do... This isn't Beta 6, so I do have a bit of an armory socketed over here. It's just one page, and with the exception of that android arm, my bonuses are relatively low, so wow. 0 and 1. Same team. Luke Cage goes early, so we do have a bodyguard. AoE from the agent, which is good because that means the damage is weak. Huge, huge hit from Iron Fist. Okay. We know what Human Torch is going to do. So, let's walk around Human Torch for now and work on the enemy agent who is just simply going to get enraged by attacking my scrapper. So let's change the strategy and learn. Combo Breaker goes off. Good to see that. And it went off because there was an enchanted crowbar revenge hit over there. But as you can see, it's still a little bit bugged. The attack still happened. Take the scrapper bonus into the enemy agent. Combo setup is good for Iron Fist. Pain is good. Pre-counter off of Luke Cage. Another AoE. It crits, but it's still low and spread out damage. Counter from the agent because of the neurotrope and the seismic feedback, so he's out of there. Let's do this. If he needs to, he'll heal the next round. However, he also could go for the big hit. Now, we know the custom Goblin Glider is going to restore health. He's at full health. We don't want to use it. The Butcher's Block to get the well-fed buff should be the way to go, considering I've already put feedback on my team. They're both melee weapons. I don't have much of a choice. It does really good damage. The Plasma Body sucks. That hurts. And he's healed himself up because he's lit himself on fire. So now we essentially have to get through basically like a Wolverine heal over time. Huge hits from Luke Cage. He used Heart of Shu Lao in the last round, so I think he could actually punch Human Torch out of here. And he does. Huge damage. Okay, there we go. Got revenge. We're 1 and 1. On to the third fight. Scarlet Witch. Thor. Their blasters. The agent is a tactician, so we have a huge advantage in this, in that we have an infiltrator against a tactician. He's using the knight. I see the chest set is on him, so the agent is going to need to be protecting. Combo breaker. Happy feet. Wombo combo. That ain't no Falco. Alright, neurotrope. And attack the enemy agent, and we will do seismic feedback. So basically this team is capable of a lot of return damage. There's a lot of counter damage on this team. Luke can do it. Iron Fist can do it with Combo Breaker, the seismic feedback, and the neurotrope all create a lot of passive damage. Luke Cage will bodyguard. No infiltrators, so we'll just go for Scarlet Witch. Mild hit from Thor, takes seismic feedback, takes a counter. Pain is on him. We have combos set up, so let's try and exploit it. Oof! My god. My god. For such starter characters, the damage is insane. I mean, okay, he has strengthened from the neurotrope. But man, that's crazy considering, you know, until the white uniform and until the worthy patch, these two were often jet jockeys. Oh my god, 13k, that's even bigger. Wow. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy over there, that damage. Back to these guys again. We've learned our lesson from this one. So we'll get out the neurotrope first and the seismic feedback buff on Invisible Woman. And again, we'll save Human Torch for last. It's not like he has a class benefit over anybody. He just simply has that plasma body, and he may give himself that heal over time. Not good for Luke. He is melee based, so Ring of Fire is kind of rough. That's going to be Plasma Body. However, we did set up the pain debuff. I don't think I want Luke to tank, because he is a little bit low, but he needs to get his scrapper bonuses going, so he goes for Invisible Woman and gets it. AoE from the toolbox, no crits, because the agent is not enraged. Gonna take seismic feedback to chip away at the shield. There's the neurotrope counters. I disagree that counter should set up his class benefits, because I think he's gonna get enraged now. I don't think that happened in the original game, but it's happening now. That might be a bit of a bug. Oof, wow, huge hit on a bruiser from a scrapper, resulting in a massive overkill. We are really healthy, even though he's at full hit points. Alright, a little less than full hit points, half hit points. I think we have a good chance of getting... Okay, guess not. We'll do that. Okay. It's not even saying that the shield is absorbing damage. It's just like straight up negating damage there. Like he's dodging like Scarlet Witch with Reality Hack. Oh my god! 25k! Jesus, Danny wanted to make sure we did not go into overtime on that one. Wow. Yes, okay, something a little bit different. We saw these guys during the week. The agent is rather strong in this group. Yeah, the neurotrope is doing a lot to buff these guys up. However, it's not a guaranteed that each character will get strengthened, so sometimes they're doing this of their own capabilities. But my god, Iron Fist and Luke Cage are positively wrecking face, and it's nice to see from a very basic, easily accessible team. And we're not even really going into the 9s and 6s that much. God, wow. Emma's just out of there. Pole vault could be bad. Alright. Good count. Oh my god, wow. I don't see any need to protect. Let's do the combo setup. Let's see what Iron Fist can do. Skull Ripper's an AoE, so that's pretty mild. Counter from the neurotrope. Combo setups there. Seismic feedback. Counter from the neurotrope. Combo setups there. Exposed in pain. Let's try to end it with the glider. There we go. I would love to see the team create a piece of agent gear similar to the glider that enables the agent to fly. Technically, I think they could do it if they did a uniform similar to like one of the flight suits. But it would be interesting if you could get a piece of gear like the glider that after you use it, it comes back to the agent and you step on it and now you're considered a flyer. It just could be interesting if you were facing a lot of teams in PvAI that had ground attacks and maybe you wanted the agent to fly similar to like say Kurth and you know, others like that. It could be a very interesting thing. So okay, that about wraps it up for this Thursday Night Fights. A lot of the gear and the heroes that you see on this one can be accessible relatively early on. This one is farmable from story content. This one the game's probably going to throw at you from the daily spinners. It's easy to get. The neurotrope does take a while to appear in the store. And the Sonic Fist, I forget what Spec Ops it's from, but it's not too far in. I think it's about halfway through. So, yeah, mix up whatever gear you want, but give these two a try in early PvP when Beta 6 drops, and I think you'll get a lot of mileage out of them, mostly because it's a lot of reinforcement of combo setup. I mean, you can see their ISOs. My Iron Fist is not ISO'd well at all because I don't use him. Luke Cage has got some really, really strong ISOs though. But combo setup and then that exploits it. And then over here, combo setup and that exploits it. So your agent can run things like the Fist of the Colossus, the Techno-Organic Endoskeleton. I mean, there's a ton of these fist weapons would be really, really good with that team. Sonic Fist, actually, yeah, it is melee. Touching the Fire and Shadow one over here, Flame and Shadow one, I mean, that's more for a debuff team. But you definitely have some fist weapons that you can farm, and I'm sure you could search on the wikis for the exploit combo ones and then become part of the team. That's the Chakra Strike. That actually would be really good with a team like this. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and again, please ask your story-related questions about Season 3, which is new content coming from the Redux Story Development team. Please ask those questions down below. They'll get submitted to the story development folks, and then there'll be a video where they're going to be answering your questions. Thanks for stopping by, everybody, and have a good one.